All right, everybody. Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. Just got out of the gym, and while I was in the gym, this is the reason for the video. While I was in the gym, in between reps, I'm scrolling on the phone, and I see this interview from Ryan Coogler with, I believe the gentleman's name is Josh Horowitz. And in their interview, they're discussing what the original treatment or idea was for the sequel of Black Panther. They talk about this a year ago, let me get my thoughts together. A year ago, I remember seeing something where Ryan Coogler talked about the sequel was a father and son story. But in this interview, this clip of the interview, he goes on to explain a little bit more in detail what that father and son story would be. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip from the interview and, of course, give my thoughts along the way. So with that being said, my people, let's go ahead and get into it.
What he can do. I'm going to push him to the limit.
Oh my God.
Can you give me one? I know it's a father-son story. Can you give me one scene that you were itching to get him to see him play in the Wakanda Forever We'll Never See?
Look, oh, man, that's got to be so hard. That's got to be so hard because the loss of Chadwick Boseman, just to people who were fans, it was a hard loss, because like I say, I didn't know him personally, but from what I could see, and by all accounts, he was a good man. I mean, I remember seeing the video footage of him going to terminally ill kids while he was dealing with his own illness behind the scenes that nobody really knew about, probably other than close family. But he still was able to do all those things. And then it's just one of those, someone like Ryan Coogler who knew him, who worked with him, you could just tell that loss is just, it stings. I think of it this way. It's much similar to, Heath Ledger passing away before The Dark Knight Rises. And we got The Dark Knight Rises, but he definitely would have been a part of that. And you just wonder what it would have been with him in it along with Bane, it's the kind of same way with this because Wakanda Forever is a totally different movie than a father-son story, of course. So yeah,
bro, it was like a 180-page drive chock full of them, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like the the big thing about the script was that it was this thing called the ritual of 8, where when a prince is 8 years old, he has to go spend eight days in the bush with his father. And amongst those 8 days, they don't have it. They have to go into the bush without any tools. And the prince has to listen has to listen and do everything that's asked of him.
That's an amazing concept. Rites of passage, because we don't see those too much anymore. At least, I mean, definitely in the real world. I mean, definitely in the West. I'll say Western culture wise, for the most part, there are no rites of passage. And the rites of passages were one of those things you went through, before you became a man. And so we've kind of lost. It's interesting. We don't have that. And so I remember a video from several years ago with Shia LaBeouf where it's like him and John Barenthal, and they're talking about what is it that makes a man. There are no rites of passage. And so this would have been amazing to see. And not only that, but just the image of a black father and his black son, having these rites of passage and being together, having a positive relationship. Because not only just, like I will say, black fathers, but just fathers in general in the media in the last 10, 12 years have been down bad. They've been portrayed as the portrayal has not been very good. It's not very good. I mean, matter of fact, stay within the Marvel universe. Look at the last Ant-Man movie, her relationship with her father. And he wasn't an Avenger, but he worked with the Avengers to save the world, But yeah, man, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, oh, this sounds, just the sound of this sounds way better than Wakanda Forever.
About his father. But the rule is for those 8 days, the prince can ask the father any question, and the father has to answer. so it was so you know, and during the course of those 8 days, um Namor launches an attack. So that was what the movie was. Like he had to deal with somebody who was, and it was a different version of Namor in that script, but he had to deal with somebody who was like insanely dangerous. But because of this ritual, his son had to be like joined at his hip the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, so like, while he was engaging in negotiations, fights and shit, his son had to be right there, or else they would have to violate this ritual which had never been broken. So that was what the movie was.
Talk about raising the stakes. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I got you.
It was insane. It was insane.
That's a good point by Josh Horowitz. The stakes would have been raised, because that's the thing about, since Tony Stark snapped his fingers, the stakes are gone now. And kudos to Ryan Coogler. However you feel about him, he does this thing when he comes to his movies, and he's always trying to explore something different. And this totally would have been something different for the MCU world. I mean, you look at the MCU, how it is now, or just even you can go over to DC now. They have a term, the Marvel, the Marvel humor or whatever, the quips all the time, or your movie, it's this band of unlikely heroes cast together. Like everything is Guardians of the Galaxy now. There's nothing that has its own atmosphere and its own thing. And I think that's what they're missing from somebody like Ryan Coogler. So it's going to be amazing to see him in this third film, because it will have Denzel in it. But yeah, the stakes would have been high in that situation. And like I said, once again, just hearing this, it's already better than Wakanda Forever.
Saying, bro, and Chad was gonna kill it, bro,
well, that's now that looks like that's it. That's gonna be it on that. But yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, it sounds way better than what we got. And unfortunately, and I don't want to blame them too much for that, because they were put in an impossible position. I'm from the group. I said it since day one. They should have recasted Chadwick, but I think with a recast, I don't think they would have done. I don't think that's this story he's talking about, the father and son thing. I don't think that would have. I think if you get another actor, you don't do that. And I think they should have pushed the movie back and gave Ron Coogler enough time to come up with a whole different treatment or whatever. But Marvel was up against it, because by that point, Marvel was not the juggernaut it was. And if you remember, the first Black Panther made over $1 billion. So they were thinking this one would do the same thing, but it did not quite get there. I think it made maybe just over 800 million. That's nothing to scoff at. But then again, if you look at the budget, I think the budget was over 200 million. So you do those numbers, if they did make a profit, it's not by very much, not like the first one was. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all I have on now. I just thought that was cool. What do you guys think? You would have been on board with this idea, or, you're fine with Wakanda Forever, or you just think what do you think about this? Get in the comments. Let me know. And if you haven't already, if you like what I'm hearing, go ahead, subscribe, share, and of course, like the video. And guys, like I always say, if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes of the whole damn video, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Next video will be the next episode of House of Asher. Guys, I'm telling you, a lot of people have been hating on that show. And look, go into it with an open mind and you'll be all right. I'm enjoying the show. We got a nice little community going here on this channel for House of Asher. And so if you need something to watch, get caught up on the show, come to the channel and check out the reviews for House of Asher. But also stick around and look at some of the other videos I have as well. So with that being said, everybody, it's your boy P signing off, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.